Welcome back to episode 2 of the Hardcore Iron Man series. We just finished with our rune essence grind from episode 1, so we have 30 rune crafting banked. I also just finished editing episode 1, and although it was good, there just wasn't enough account progression through it. We gained a ton of levels, but we didn't accomplish anything major. So this episode, we're going to focus on one major problem that we have: our melee gear. Currently, we're using a bronze sword and a bronze shield. Before we can focus on training our melee stats, we need better gear. And with 10 kills of Obor and 10 kills of Bryophyta in store for us, we will definitely need better stats before we can tackle these challenges. So here's the plan. We're currently at 5 attack. However, we've already started Vampire Slayer. Only one thing stands between us and a 4000 XP attack reward: Count Draenor. With the 4000 XP from completion of the quest, we'll be able to equip a Mithril Scimitar. But there's one problem. We can't kill Count Draenor. He has a hit points healing mechanic that's impossible to outdamage with our current gear and stats. So the goal is simple. We need two things: money for gear upgrades, including a hefty 1k to buy our first Mithril Scimitar, and better stats to finish Count Draenor. We won't end this episode until we can finally equip our own Mithril Scimitar. So let's get started. We just made our way from Varrock to Lumbridge, and as you can see from my inventory, we've been busy since we've got here. You know the plan, but let's talk about how we're going to complete it. We're going to focus on money first. Once we get money, we can focus on getting the stats to kill Count Draenor, but without the cash, well, there's just no point in being able to wield a Mithril Scimitar if we can't afford it. I didn't mention this in episode 1, but for this series, I'm not allowing myself to use a Stronghold of Security. Although the 10k coins would instantly solve our money problem, I believe that it takes away from the fun that is the early game struggle. By episode 10, 1k will be nothing to me, I'm sure. But for the time being, it's more money than I can possibly imagine. With the Stronghold of Security off the table, it leaves us with few other options for quick cash. First, being blacksmithing, and although it is one of my favorite ways to make free-to-play cash, without being able to complete the Knight's Sword, it's not very efficient. The other option, and a much better option, is Black Knight's Fortress. You see, Black Knight's Fortress gives us a hefty 2.5k gold reward upon completion. With that money, we'll be able to afford a Steel Scimitar, which we can use to try to kill Count Draenor, as well as a Mithril Scimitar, the goal for this episode. There's only one small problem with this plan. You need 12 quest points to start Black Knight's Fortress. We're currently about to complete Cook's Assistant and Sheep Shearer. We just need to finish spinning this wool. Hey, with the very last wool ball, we just hit 7 crafting. I forgot to record the last clip there, but as you can see from the chat log, we just finished both Sheep Shearer and the Cook's Assistant, and we're currently on our way to complete Ernest the Chicken in Draenor Manor. I'll catch you guys at the end of the quest. Ernest the Chicken completed, we're going to go ahead and try to complete Doric's quest next, because we're kind of already down here, and we've already got a lot of the materials in our bank, so I will catch you guys whenever I complete that. As we were already in the vicinity, I figured it was finally time for us to get our first cape upgrade. Just look at us styling. Doric's quest completed. And we got ourselves 29 mining. After completing Doric's quest, we were still 1 quest point short of being able to start Black Knight's Fortress, so we're currently working on Pirate's Treasure. And with that, that is the completion of Pirate's Treasure. This now gives us enough quest points to complete Black Knight's Fortress. And that is Black Knight's Fortress completed. With the 2,500 gold from completing this quest, that'll give us enough money to buy the steel and Mithril Scimitar. The only thing left for us to do before facing Count Draenor is to train some stats. But before we do that, let's go get our gear upgrades. Alright, we're finally here. We're going to go ahead and pick ourselves up the steel as well as the Mithril Scimitar here. Obviously the Mithril Scimitar being the much more important of the two, but for the steel for the time being is just to help us train. The current plan is to train on cows. We're going to be banking the leathers just so that we can get crafting up. And I should actually grab my gear out of my bank real quick before we head over. But the current plan is to get leathers and then bank all the leathers for crafting XP down the line, and also get the attack level up as we go. Clicked on a farmer by accident and got a clue scroll from it, so we're going to go ahead and try to complete this. This is our third inventory of doing cows. We just got 19 strength, and we're going for 20 strength and 10 attack before we go ahead and try to kill Count Draenor. Casket number 3. Just finished up with 3 inventories of cows. We're going to go ahead and gear up and give Count Draenor another shot now that we've hit 10 attack and 20 strength. After everything we've accomplished this episode, we failed. I attempted to kill Count Draenor 3 more times, and none of them were even close to that attempt. We simply lack the damage to finish Count Draenor off through his healing mechanic. With melee. But what about magic? Maybe we were approaching this entire situation the wrong way. Sure, we can't kill Count Draenor hitting 4s with the Steel Skimmy, but what about hitting 8s with Fire Strike? But before we can try to kill Count Draenor again, we need to get some magic levels, and the accuracy bonus from completing Imp Catcher wouldn't hurt either. We won't give up.
Creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire.